Hi everyone, Nathan Hall here. This week, science lessons. Going to deal with air pressure. Can you see air pressure? No. Can you hear air pressure? Actually, you kind of can. And can you feel it? Well, if you can feel wind, if you can feel your ears pop when you go up in an airplane, you can feel it. Smell it actually too a little bit. We'll talk about that. So air pressure, some examples. When you're on an airplane, when you're going up, you feel your ears pop real quickly. That's air pressure. Another example, clouds. Clouds are made of water, right? I pour out some water, it just sinks. Why do the clouds stay in the air? What's up with that? And what are molecules? That's what we'll talk about. So the big things we'll look at. Why our ears pop when we go up. Why clouds float. And why we have wind. All this you'll be getting in your science classes. If not now, then very soon. So first, let's talk about some weather, some things that could happen. A lot of these will be vocabulary words. Really curious if anyone here has been in Batista de Nieve. I know they don't have those in Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic. Gotta come up north to Pennsylvania to experience those. And this year, I barely had one. It wasn't that bad. So which ones do you like the least? Which ones have you seen and not? We'll talk about smog. It's made from smoke and fog. Where does that smoke come from? I don't go around burning leaves anymore. I mean, it's winter, leaves are burned. So where does that smoke come from? We'll talk about in the life class. Why does it hang out in cities? This used to be Los Angeles. It's not that bad anymore. So the thing to know about why we have different types of weather, like wind and rain, what causes rain, comes down to molecules. Molecules, very tiny part of something, they're still that thing. Probably the smallest part. Example of molecules, you go home and you smell, ooh, mom's cooking bistecca, cooking some steak. Little pieces of that meat are going right up your nose. That's a molecule. And that's a good thing. Your body's built to detect those. So molecules, they move constantly. When they get something, they bounce like a lot of rubber balls. So in the air, it's made of molecules. All the gas, all the water, all molecules around you. And air molecules move in all directions. Put your hand out. Air molecules push it down, but they also push it up, push it left, push it right. All directions, while you don't feel them. Down here. But if you climb a mountain, well, you'd feel a little less of it. If you go deep sea diving, you go deep under the ocean, air pushes down on you, plus the water. Which is why if you're going deep in the ocean, gotta wear one of these things. So another example of it, on those big cumulus clouds, they can weigh 500 tons. 1 ton, that's about a car. 2,000 pounds. If it's that heavy, why does it float? Why does something 2,000 pounds stay in the air and my car doesn't? Its molecules are all spread out, plus less pressure up there. So if the way the air is pushing down on you, and what if you go down the bottom of the ocean? Ooh, Colin Monroe. I'm not sure I put that in anymore. But yeah, that's because that's going to come up in a second. Okay. And altitude is a measure of how high something is. Where would you find an altitude of 0? Walk to the ocean. Put your foot in the ocean. Sea level. Altitude 0. Can you get lower than this on land? Actually, yeah. A few places you can. We'll talk about that in the life class. So this is why you put in columns and rows. Rows go left and right. A column goes up and down. So imagine the density of the air is a big column going down. It pushes down on you more. High up in a mountain, not so bad. Down on land, more of it. So air pressure decreases. It also varies. If it was the same in all locations, there wouldn't be much movement. No wind. There'd be no breezes. Also no hurricanes. Just regular weather everywhere. So things that aren't dense will float in places that are more dense. There's one example of a place called the Dead Sea. Very salty ocean. If you go in it, you'd float with no trouble. You won't be able to fish because it's so salty no fish can live there. So you wouldn't float this way in the ocean because not that much salt. Try it in your bathtub. unless you're bathing in really salty water, which would make your mom mad, you're just gonna sink. So why are some days windier than others? Well, some days more air pressure than other days. So the basement of a skyscraper have different pressure than a roof? It definitely would. And you can measure that with a barometer, which is on the next page. So barometers measure air pressure. They show how much pressure there is and exactly how it works. Sometimes it's a dial, sometimes it's a graph. So here's some questions we'll go over in the live classes. They'll be on your upcoming quizzes. There'll be a lot of vocabulary. And we'll go over these questions as well in the live class. So we have wind because of different air pressure, clouds float because they're less dense, and in air that's also very non-dense. Why our ears pop? Less density. Your body gets used to it. It all comes down to pressure. Old Billy Joel song. Alright, that's it. Come to the live class if you have any questions, and check out the PowerPoint. Adios and goodbye for now.